Hey guys, Sarge here. A topic that we are going to discuss today is whether we would rather have a specific caliber over having capacity, right? And this is a pretty big topic for some people, and some people really don't care too much about it. I'll say for me personally, I have obviously my personal opinions with it, and then they could differ from yours. But let's go into it a little bit. For starters, when people give this debate some fuel on both parties, we'll just talk about how both sides kind of look at it. For the individuals that look at, they think that a caliber matters more than capacity. A lot of times, those guys are carrying 5 shot 357 Magnum revolvers, 6 shot 357 Magnum revolvers, or even like this Shield 45 that holds 6 rounds of 45 ACP in a flush fitting magazine. Now, their argument is if I have a bigger caliber, I need less rounds because they're going back to kind of that thought process of my bullet has stopping power and it has the ability to take a dude's whole, ancestry out with one shot. Against the individuals that think that capacity is more important. What if I miss? Okay, and a lot of people say, oh, well, if you miss, then you don't need to be carrying. Okay, well, that's fine, but I don't know the situation you're going to be in. So for the individuals that say, why, I look more for capacity, missing might be on there, right? But also me not hitting a vital area. I think that's a bigger discussion part. If I don't hit a vital area of the individual that's attacking me, does it matter what caliber I have in a pistol? I would rather have more shots than less in that situation. So that's kind of what they're thinking. Then also in the mindset of what if I have more than one individual trying to attack me? Those are all valid points to this discussion. Something that I will just preface it with saying is, I don't know if you're going to be sick next week. I don't know if you're going to be in a car wreck next week. I don't know if your house is going to catch on fire next week. I have no way to know that. In the same breath, I have no way to know what your gunfight will be. Individuals quote statistics like 3, 3, and 3. Your gunfight will be in 3 rounds in 3 seconds within 3 yards. But that is not always the case, and the individual who stopped an active shooter down in Fort Worth can attest to that. So those are the things we need to think about is let's not get in the mindset of absolutes. And a lot of instructors who teach only fighting within 3 yards, in most cases, it's because they can't shoot too well outside of that. Just something to think about. So a lot of the individuals that talk negatively about doing a specific task at a certain distance or doing certain things, why are they talking negatively about it? If I have the ability to fight further out, I think that's a fantastic trait. I most certainly would not want to only be able to do something within a couple feet. I would like to know, okay, what is the furthest I would be able to defend myself in whatever situation takes place. So that's just me, guys. Something else to think about with this, when we talk about calibers, there's still people out there that believe that my round has knockdown power, right? That is just not the case. Especially with pistols, that is not the case. If we get into it, we can sit there and look at different statistics or different ballistics testing, stuff like that. That's fine. We can also look at individuals coming through coroner's offices who were shot. Okay, so those are things we can look at. We can look at militaries and law enforcement agencies that carry 9mm, 40 Smith & Wesson, 45 ACP, and we can look at how did certain gunfights go, right? And each time shot placement matters. So whenever I look at things like capacity over caliber, I try to find what is the best caliber that I can control, right? And when I say best, if I have a 9mm and that's the one I can control, awesome. If I get a 45 ACP and I can control it the best, awesome, right? So that's what I look for when I say caliber I can control. What one can I effectively run through drills? effectively shoot at a fast rate while keeping accuracy. And what I mean by that is I've seen a lot of people who carry a 357 Magnum revolver, or they carry a 44 Magnum revolver, or they carry a 45 ACP and a super small little gun, and they come out on the range and they cannot control it. They got that first shot, but they just can't control that recoil enough due to whether it's their grip strength or whatever it is, right? And that plays a huge part into it as well. I will never tell someone what caliber to use because I don't know the situation you're going to be using it in. I don't know your physical or whatever limitations you may have. And so, some people just shoot differently. And what I mean by shoot differently is I have personally met people that, man, they get a 45 ACP pistol and they shoot those better than 9mm pistols. Okay, cool, then carry that. Carry whatever you can control and shoot the best. But when we're talking about having that capacity, what is a capacity point that we're okay with? For me personally, the minimum I will go to is 6 rounds minimum in a what I'll call a primary carry gun. So if it is a gun that I'm not carrying a second pistol, whatever it is, I would say 6 rounds would be the minimum. But I'm following that up with an additional magazine. So it's not just this pistol being carried. I also will have an additional magazine with that. And that opens up another can of worms. Some people have said things like, well, you don't need to carry extra bullets, whatever it is, right? Have you ever had a malfunction? And if you say no to that, okay, I have had malfunctions. It's not because my pistols suck or whatever it is, right? I've had malfunctions, whether it's crappy ammo, whatever. I don't want to have only one magazine, only one source of ammunition with me, and something happen, and now I'm not able to refill that supply of ammunition when it takes up no space in my pocket, and it's very easy just to put an extra magazine in there. So that's the biggest thing with the magazines, is it's there just in case I do have a malfunction, something goes wrong with the ammunition I want to be able to replace it in a faster manner. In the mindset of people that have said, no, well, I've never had a malfunction, so I know all 6 of these rounds are going to fire. Do you have a fire extinguisher in your house? If you answer yes to that, and you've never had a house fire, well, why do you have a fire extinguisher? Because you never had a house fire, so do you need a fire extinguisher? I would use that to the same mindset of, if you've never had a malfunction, I would still prepare for if I were to have a malfunction. Because if we train for the worst case scenario, we will excel in the best case scenario. And that's just my kind of thoughts with it, guys. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at some videos of shooting different calibers, right? And what's the controllability of them? If we are able to control certain pistols, let's make sure that we're meeting all the applications we need them for. What do I mean? So my personal everyday carry is a 6-hour P220 Legion chambered in 10mm. Why? One, I think 10mm is a phenomenal round. The second reason is I don't have to worry about just human attackers, right? So there are other predators that go around mountains and things like that, and that's primarily where I spend most of my time. So I looked for a pistol that could meet all the needs that I had in self-protection, and I'm not having to switch back and forth between whatever it is. So for me, that 10mm P220 Legion has met everything I need it to meet, and that's all we need to look for whenever we discuss things like caliber over capacity. Does it meet all your needs, right? And are you proficient with it in case a worst case scenario does happen, right? If you have 3 people attacking you, is 6 shots with proper shot placement enough? Because I would rather have 6 trained and precise shots over the 18 shots that go in my Beretta 92X that are not trained, that are not going to the range and practicing, that are not prepared, right? So think about that. I most certainly know several individuals that would rather have 6 rounds that they've trained with over a bunch that they haven't. So that's just something to think about, guys. And also look at what drills are we running at the range. Are there drills out there that we could most certainly prepare for situations and see how would that actually work with a 45 ACP. How fast are you transitioning to the next target? How fast are you if you have to engage two targets? What's the overall time within that? I'm not too big on running and dedicating my life on what a shot clock tells me. Okay, I really don't care too much about that. Primarily, what I look for with that is there a objective sense to using a shot clock? Yes. One of the biggest reasons why I will use a shot clock is it still puts a time in my head, right? And obviously that will not dictate the exact scenario I'm going to be in, and that shot clock will not say if I run the drill, let's say I shoot two targets and I do it in 2.5 seconds, right? That does not say that when I do it in real life and there's barriers or there's other variables around that I'm going to do it in 2.5 seconds. But I know that under good circumstances and under whatever scenario base, I've done it in 2.5 seconds. So I can base it off of that. And if I continually practice for it, it'll change my overall mindset to that specific drill or that goal that we're trying to get to. So just some things to think about, guys. And when we are talking about caliber over capacity, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys prefer having a specific caliber, or do you prefer on having more rounds in the pistol? As always, guys, stay tuned for more. Sarge out.